both are having a swimming day. So I wanted to go over today just some tips and tricks for your opportunities in Command, since that is the biggest, if not second biggest applet that you'll use in Command. It is to house all of your commissions and all of your compliance documents for the Market Center and for all of your transactions. So both market centers require that you are submitting documents and your commission information in opportunities in Command in order to get you paid. So I wanted to show you today some tips and tricks that I've come across to making it easier for you. And then also with the way the market is, especially if you have buyers, having to put in multiple offers. Let me show you how you can do that and keep it all in one opportunity so you don't have 100 opportunities, 100 rooms in Loop or DocuSign, and just kind of keep it a little more organized. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so we are in Command, the home of everything. You're gonna log in agent.kw.com. Use your username and password to get logged in there. And if you don't have it, let me know. I can help you facilitate that. But by now you all should be pretty familiar with Command, I'd hope. As always, Command works best on Google Chrome. So if you're using Safari or Microsoft Edge or Firefox, I'm not saying it won't work, but there are features that will not work properly just because it's not on Google. So always make sure you're using Google Chrome. And then your opportunities applet is the handshake applet. If you're ever not sure which one of these is what, you can click on that KW and it will show you. I like to preface that your opportunity, for all your opportunities, you do need your person to be in contacts first, your client to be in your contacts first before you start an opportunity. Otherwise, it won't work. Another thing you need to do is to make sure that your .loop or DocuSign is connected. So you're going to go up here to your name in the top right corner. You are going to go to settings. And you're going to look right here in the applications and make sure your DocuSign is connected or your .loop. If you're using .loop, which I know some of you are at KW Excel and they usually use .loop, you can come up here to Marketplace. Wait for it to load here. And then once it loads, you're going to search for .loop at the top. This is only if you're using .loop. If you're at Cat Partners, you're probably using DocuSign, so you don't have to worry about this. You're going to click on .loop. You'll go through, you'll click activate. This will say activate instead of manage app. And you'll go through all the steps. It'll go through the transaction like you're paying for something, but you're not really. It'll all say 0. And then once you close out of that, finish that, close out, and then refresh, it should pop up in here. And then you can connect that way. So always make sure your DocuSign account is connected or .loop. If it's not, click connect account. If it shows up here, your account has already been created by Scott Leroy Marketing when they onboarded you. So you should just click login here. Your email that is attached to your DocuSign account needs to go in here. Click login or .loop and then put in your password, log in again. Initially, if you've never connected before, and then I'll connect. If you've never connected before, it will first send you like an email to authorize, I think like that, or something along those lines. So there might be an extra step or two if you've never connected to Command before, but if you already have, and for some reason you disconnected or it gets disconnected, it's just as easy as logging back in. So you want to make sure your person's in there, your clients and your contacts, your .loop or DocuSign account is connected to Command, then you can go into your opportunities. So you've created your opportunity, everything's going well, and then we'll use my referral from our regional tech director, Mr. Marshall Mathers. That's the buyer's name. Our RTT is Josh Bowman. But so we have Mr. Marshall Mathers. We are going to go ahead and pick his checklist type, residential, which from Excel to Cap Partners, the lists might look a little bit different, just the flow of it, but it's essentially the same. So you always want to make sure you pick your checklist type. You always want to start your transaction from command. If you do not start it from command, whatever room or loop you have in .loop or DocuSign will not connect back to command. So if you're not creating those first in command, then you are creating a whole lot of extra work for yourself. If you're on a team and .loop is not connecting, let me know. Still, Jack, I know you're on here. They are still working on this. I know it's been crazy, but I have come to realize that there were some issues with personal accounts with people on a team versus team accounts. So that's a thing to look into as well if you're having issues. But if anybody's having issues connecting to .loop, let me know. So you're going to click Start a Transaction. That is going to create the loop or room for you in .loop or DocuSign. I'm going to just run through my DocuSign login real quick just to show you what it looks like. It should do the same for .loop if it's working. So if I look in the details of the room, which both systems have this, you're going to have any information in this detail section of command is going to filter over to your e-signature process. So we don't have a property address in command right here. So I don't have a property address showing up in here. So that is why. So if there's ever information missing in .loop or DocuSign, double check one if the information is in command. If it's not, that's why it's not in DocuSign or .loop. If it is and it's not transferring, then you need to let me know. But so everything's in there. So it'll create these for you. So you don't have to take the time to create it. You don't have to take the time to put all this information in if you first put it in command. So start here, and you want to start early. Don't wait until you're ready to go into contract. Don't wait until, you know, your buyer is already going and looking at houses. You should get this as soon as you have a consultation with your client and they're saying, hey, I'm ready to buy. You need to be creating opportunities. Not only does it give you an idea of where you could be commission wise, it keeps you better organized on and makes it easier. That way you're not trying to do everything at once. Right now, time is the greatest virtue because you don't have any of it, especially sorry, if you have buyers. So we've got it. We've got our opportunity synced to .loop or DocuSign, whichever you use. And then when you have documents in here, I'm going to go ahead, just for training purposes, attach a couple files just so you can see. These aren't going to be not the correct forms, but I want for you to be able to visually see what this looks like. I'm just putting random PDFs in here. So as you get these forms, you want to upload them and submit them. So you should be submitting to the Market Center this entire required list under contract. All of these forms should be to the Market Center within 3 days of you guys signing your contracts. 3 days. So you're going to upload your files, and if you have already created that room or that loop, you will be able to see DocuSign or .loop here at the top. And then if you click on it, it'll create drop-down boxes, and then you will have files in here. I just don't in my room. But then you'll be able to quickly click on them and then attach them. So again, this is just one more step to make it easier for you to streamline this. Is if you create that opportunity, you start that transaction from command to your e-signature source, and then it's that much easier to sync it back in. Because if you don't do that, then you're downloading forms and you're having to find them and upload them. It just creates a couple extra steps. So once you have your required documents, these required, and then if you have any conditionally required, I know Cap Partners has great explanations on why everything is conditionally required. I think there's some in there for Excel as well. So be sure you check into those. If you're not for sure, definitely reach out to Karen Jackson at Excel for compliance, or Buffy or Joanne, your brokers for compliance. Here at Cap Partners, you can reach out to Joanne Rasmussen or Lori or Jill for the compliance as well. Or if you just have a simple, reach out to me as well. I can at least hopefully figure it out for you. If not, I will get you to the right person. So once you have your forms, you're going to submit them to the Market Center, again, within 3 days. That gives us time to make sure you're compliant, that all the contracts right, and saves you hopefully a lot of heartache if something would be wrong. Now, say this offer falls through for whatever reason, you can click here where it says under contract. You can click here and add a new version of these forms. So we keep our buyer, we keep everything the same that we need to, but we can submit new documents, and then we can go back in the details and change any information. So I'm going to say that this is 123 Easy Street now. So I'm going to create a new version. So now if you noticed, those documents went away. This is 123 Easy Street offer, and the original offers or the original forms will always stay what the original name was. Just we can't change that, unfortunately. So it's going to stay under contract. If you notice, those forms are back there now. But if I go to 123 Easy Street, it's clear and you can resubmit documents. Same thing goes for your rooms. If you're in documents, you can do this in .Loopboard DocuSign. It might just look a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and add some forms in here and show you how you can create folders and move them around. So buyer, I'm just going to select them all, get them added. So you will have an actions button. I'm not 100% what it is on .loop, I apologize, but you will be able to add folders. And then do 123 Easy Street offer. Or if you don't, or if you want to do it on the flip side, you can just make this the lost offer. So you can just get rid of everything that is not relevant to what you're doing right now. The buyer profile used. Where are you seeing the buyer profile?
At the top where it says profile. Well, it says buyer profile. Details, buyer profile, documents.
Here in DocuSign? Or in, oh, in here. I'm sorry. Sorry. So this is more for the app. I'm not 100%.
Okay.
I kind of see why it's in the opportunity, but then again, I kind of don't. So this lets you know if your specific client is registered on your app. And the purpose of that is there is a buyer and seller guide in the app. And they can, if they're registered and they are check marking, like when they're doing those certain things, it will tell you. So that's the only thing I can think of is why it would be in here, but it's not really relevant to for on your end. It's more of a tracker to see kind of if they're engaging in your app around that buyer or seller checklist.
Okay.
That was a good question, though. I apologize. I got confused for a second. But for .Loopboard DocuSign, if you have docs that you want to get rid of in that lost offer, you're going to just click and drag and move them up there. That way you don't have to worry about your current docs mixing with all of the lost offers that you've done previously. So with that, you have a new version of the documents to submit, and then you still have access to the old, like say you're waiting, you've got a termination, but you're just waiting on that mutual release, or vice versa. So you can still go back and add those or change things as you need to, but that new version is there, so you can keep going. You can keep on with the time because you don't have a lot of it. And then one thing to note, that if you do change properties or have a new offer, you need to go back into the details section and update, 1, the property address, and 2, the name of your opportunity. So over each one of these boxes is a pencil, and you will click on that to change that box. So I did the general information box. Up here is the opportunity name. We are asking that you put the property address that is either for purchase or for sale in the opportunity name. It just makes it easier for the market center to find it. So I went in and I changed. I'm going to go ahead. Hey, there's really an easy street. Crazy. We're going to go ahead and that's going to be it for today. This is just purely educational. I'm not really trying to buy or sell anything in Illinois. But so we updated our opportunity name. We updated our property. So now we're good to go as if this was a whole new opportunity. I can't talk today. I apologize. And then you resubmit your docs as you need to. That way also you don't have to make them sign like the consumer guide or anti-fraud or any of those non-property specific forms. You can just pull them right back in again from DocuSign or .loop. So your clients don't have to mess with that again. Just one thing to note with the versions, you do have to create a new version of each folder over here on the left. So if you create a new version of the consultation, it doesn't create new versions for all 3 of them. So you would have to go in and do your own new version of each if you need to. Now, if you create a new version of consultation, you need to create a new version of the under contract portion, but you never got to the closing table with the first offer, you don't need a new version of the closed folder. That one can stay the way it is. It's not going to affect anything from previous to past. This is just to that specific folder. So don't feel like you need a new version of every single one unless it applies. Once you go in, and so once you have your contract and documents submitted within 3 days of writing or signing the contract, we want you to put in your offer and commission as soon as you submit your contract. That gives the office the ability to see, Chad, sorry. We want the property address in the name of the opportunity, and it doesn't have to be the full address, just the house number and the street name is good enough for us, either market center. But that way we can easily identify what property it's for, just because, like, especially when we get commission checks and stuff like that, or earnest money, it doesn't always have all of the information we need, or it might just have the buyer's name on it, or it might just have the address on it. So depending on what's in command is going to affect how quickly we can locate that opportunity and get you paid. So everything across the board always has the property address on it. So that's why we stress that you put them in the name of your opportunity, just to make it as easy as possible for us to find it.
So it's just an address, it's not the client's name, or do you put their name in there too?
If you want to, you can, but it's not, it's not a big deal if you don't.
Okay, thank you.
As far as offers and commissions go, again, we want that in as soon as possible from once you get the contract submitted. That's just because we want to see what you guys are doing, what your closing dates look like, projected, that kind of stuff. It just helps the market center as a whole. And the more information you have done and ready before you get to the closing table, the quicker your turnaround is for your money. So we try to ideally get you paid within 24 to 48 hours of receiving that commission check. So if everything's already in there and already marked that it's compliant, as soon as we get that check in Alta, it's like boom. As long as everything is compliant, we try to get you paid that fast. But if it's not submitted in a timely fashion and it's not reviewed or compliant, then it's going to delay you getting paid. So this is truly, as much as it seems like a tedious process, we just want you to have everything in there in a timely fashion so we can pay you as soon as possible. So under offers and commissions, after you've put in your offer, I'm going to kind of just skate through this just to make it a little easier for you guys. You don't necessarily, hopefully you know how to put one of these in by now. If not, it's pretty straightforward. It will tell you what you can and can't skip. This is a new thing, putting in the property addresses. I'm trying to get, or putting in the address of the buyer and seller. I'm trying to get clarification on, you know, if it's the buyer, should it be the address they're moving to or the address they're currently at? Just because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why it would be required now. So I'm trying to get clarification on that. So for the meantime, I'm telling everybody just to put their current address, because heaven forbid this doesn't go through. We don't want to be sending stuff to a address that you don't live in. I don't know why we'd need to mail anything to anyone, but it showed up out of nowhere. So I'm just relaying the information I know. So we're getting that in there. We're gonna, I don't even know how much the house is worth, but so we have our offer in here. We're gonna accept it because that's our offer. Then you're going to go into manage commission. This is where it looks a little bit different than what it did a month or two ago. So you put in the offer the same way, but the manage commission, these were once separate, now they're together. So manage commission, you're going to do whatever you need to. Say we close on the 20th, make sure you double check that these dates are right, because this is what's going to come up on your DA and it needs to be correct. So contract date and what date you close. Once you have your commission all ready to go, I'm just putting a note in there for Joanne once she sees this, because I'm going to submit it. You're going to make sure all your payment information is correct. Make sure those dates are correct. If you ever need to edit those, it's edit general information. And I'm going to hit submit. It'll ask you if you want to donate to CARES. All right, so say we've submitted our offer, we're in contract, we've submitted our offer and commission already, and all of a sudden our offer falls through. They don't accept it, something happens and it falls through, and you have to start all over again. So you're going to click view commission, you're going to come back in here as you would, view commission, and you're going to do request termination. By terminating this commission, it will permanently be removed. Are you sure? So if this offer has fallen through, you want to terminate it. If for some reason you need to edit your original, if it's the same offer but you need to edit it, you still need to reach out to the MCA department to fix that. This is if you're completely removing this offer and you're creating a new one. So you just hit yes. And we've requested that termination. You can go back into opportunities and commissions, put in your second offer or whatever offer on a new property offer, and start all over again. So you couldn't, before you couldn't do this, now you can. So just still be sure you're going into your, you're going in there and you're updating the necessary information, but adding those new versions of the documents and terminating the offers when they fall through is going to save you and the Market Center a lot of time messing with different opportunities and losing some things in one place and other things in the other. So this will just make it a lot easier. And then if you want to take it a step further, there are client updates in here that you can set up that will, you're going to create your opportunity checklist. And as these things happen, as you mark them off, it will send an automatic email to your buyer letting them know what's happening in your opportunity. So make it quick and painless, hopefully. I've talked and taught about this before, but in this little gear is where you set up, I believe. Okay, this is how I'll show you. This is where you set up the emails, which you can do it in the other screen as well, but this is what it would look like. It's pretty straightforward. There's only one template available. It's just this one. I would guess that they would pull an image from the MLS, or it might just stay this image, either or, but it's nice and it's pretty looking. So one less thing for you have to do in this crazy market right now, but you can set the day and the time, or you can set the time in which it goes out. And then this is a good way to also include people who are like transaction coordinators, anybody else who's in on this opportunity that may not necessarily be the buyer, but needs to know this information as well. So you can definitely use that to your advantage. All right, do I have any questions on anything? Going once, going twice. Alrighty then. Well, if there's no questions, I will let you all go. Just be sure, again, biggest takeaways, make sure you're submitting your documents within 3 days of, even on the listing side, going active, going under contract within 3 days. We want those forms all to make sure you're compliant. And then again, when you're doing it in steps instead of all at once, you're going to get your money back a lot quicker. So, all right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your afternoon, and I hope you enjoy a green beer today, or a green drink if you don't drink alcohol. So have a good day. Happy St. Patty's Day. Bye. It's my pleasure, Courtney.